Good afternoon, friends. We are talking about education, particularly the global education. Ladies and gentlemen, today India is at the cusp of a new revolution in the field of education. For the first time in the history of independent India, people are ready to question some of the premises of the past. No doubt, India's educational system has been lauded by the international community, and many of our citizens have been recognized for their enormous contribution to the enhancement of knowledge, science and technology, and cutting-edge thoughts. However, we have several problems, including the reach of education, quality of contents, and our approach towards imparting education. Only 15% of those who are enrolled at primary school level reach the high school, and from those, students who make it to the graduation are only 7%. By any standards, this is a dismal performance. However, there are silver linings, and we are already moving towards a more equitable and a more relevant form of education. Education is also picking up in the non-formal as well as informal segments. Rather than dealing with the issues of our current education system and various inadequacies, I would concentrate on outlining what I see as the future of education in India. The best form of desirable education is described in the famous poem "Where the Mind is Without Fear" by Nobel laureate Rabindranath Tagore. The poem brings out essentials of education that makes every human being compassionate, free, fearless, considerate, respectful, and understanding of the self and the universe that surrounds us. In that sense, today's education system that focuses on examination, memorizing, and marks chasing does not stand the test of time. We must recognize education as the most important change agent in our society and assign necessary importance to it. There are several versions of our vision of India. India represents enormous diversity and yet is known for its eternal values. The education system that was introduced by the British has outlived its utility long ago. We deserve education that teaches people to be confident, self-reliant, hard-working, and forward-looking in this dynamic world without losing our national cultural fabric. We have to create citizens with a larger vision of our nation and of the world. It is also necessary that our young generation is fully aware of the constraints of planet Earth, the only home of mankind. Enormous levels of pollution, exploitation of natural resources, attack on the biodiversity, the damage being caused to the seas and oceans, and the ozone depletion are some of the issues that are defining planetary boundaries. We have to learn about them. In other words, education must give a holistic version about local and global, giving us a thorough understanding of the various interconnecting elements that assure as well as affect our existence. In practical terms, I would like to suggest concentrating on some important aspects as the end result of our education. In the coming years, a new focus will have to be provided to building appropriate leadership. While this would be an outcome of our sanskaras at home, education in schools and colleges, and the lessons we learn through the community living, a thoughtful input in education can make a lot of difference. Leaders can not only be acquainted with local issues, they are increasingly expected to know about national as well as international situations. India being a complex country, the leadership should also develop insights in our own history, culture, heritage, as well as the centuries-old indigenous knowledge. They should also be constantly prepared to learn, update themselves, and in many cases, unlearn also. Leadership training must form part of our education, particularly at higher levels. Importance of science and technology has radically changed our lives. However, Scientific temperament is something that is still missing in our character. Today's world recognizes knowledge as one of the most important instruments of change. Overcoming traditional prejudices, beliefs, and superstitions could only be achieved by promoting a temperament that is conducive for accepting new streams of knowledge. While Indian scientists have done well overseas, our domestic situation is far from satisfactory. We need to do more to promote science and technology to remain at the top. Just as the S&T, encouraging innovation through education should also be our priority. While discipline is necessary for national development, conformity beyond a point can kill our spirit of freedom, of thought and expression. Being innovative is not limited to marketing and commercial products. Being innovative is wanting to provide our people better life through improvement of environment and looking for new instruments of change constantly. Innovativeness has to touch every aspect of our life, whether it is agriculture or transportation, tourism or manufacturing. Without innovation, we may lose the pace of our development. Finally, I would also like to underline the importance of unlearning. While a lot of emphasis has been provided on learning, training and relearning, unlearning is not part of our thinking process. Many of our problems, particularly on the social fronts, emanate from not being able to actively disengage from the past learning, training and understanding. The belief and practice of caste system is one such example. People in India are simply not ready to annihilate the caste from their thought process. This has created enormous issues of dire consequences for our country in the past. In a world that is changing every minute, every day is a new day and we need to prepare to face the reality. Only by shedding some of the old baggage can we move forward as a modern nation that holds its head high. Unlearning in a systematic manner has to form part of our education system. Ladies and gentlemen, only when leadership building, promoting scientific temperament, encouragement to innovative practices and finally the unlearning become part of our education system can we achieve our goal of making India Sare Jahan Se Acha. Jai Hind and thank you.